Figure 1 shows a sketch of triangle ABC with AB as being x plus 2 centimetres, BC being 3x plus 10 centimetres, and AC being 7x centimetres. Angle BAC is 60 degrees and angle ACB is theta. We need to show that 17x squared minus 35x minus 45 is equal to 0. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to focus on the cosine rule of this triangle here, because I've got the three sides in terms of x, and I've got the angle 60 degrees here, which is opposite the 3x plus 10. So using the cosine rule, I can say that the 3x plus 10 squared, that has to be the a squared in the cosine rule because it's opposite the 60 degrees. The b and the c don't really matter, so I'm going to have the b as the x plus 2 and the c as the 7x. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times cos of the angle in between them, cos 60. Right, expanding these brackets and simplifying all of this as much as possible. So we're going to have a 9x squared plus 60x plus 100. This is me just expanding that out. Then we've got an x squared plus 4x plus 4. This is me just expanding that out. Then we've got a 49x squared. This is just the 7x times 7x. Then we've got the 2 times the x plus 2 times the 7x times the cos 60. So quite a lot going on here. And because they're all being multiplied together, I can do this in any order I want. So I'm actually going to deal with the cos 60 first. What's cos 60? I know that's 1/2. And when that 1/2 gets multiplied by the 2, they're actually going to cancel each other out. So actually, I don't need to worry about these bits at all. The only bits I need to worry about are these bits. So the x times the 7x is 7x squared. So let me just repeat that. The x times the 7x is 7x squared. It's a minus because of the minus at the front. And then we've got the 2 times the 7x, which is 14x with the minus at the front. Okay, carrying on from here. I'm going to leave the left-hand side as it is for now. The right-hand side, we've got an x squared plus 49x squared, so that's 50, minus 7x squared, so that's 43x squared. We've then got the 4x minus 14x, which is minus 10x, and we've got that extra plus 4 there. Right, I'm now going to make this equal to 0 by subtracting 9x squared from both sides. So that 43x squared becomes 34. I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides, so that minus 10 becomes minus 70. And I'm going to subtract 100 from both sides, so that plus 4 becomes a minus 96. And then I notice that I can divide all of those terms by 2 because they're all even. And that is what we needed to show. So that's my answer for part I. Part II says, hence, find the value of x. So I just need to solve this equation. I'm going to solve this with the quadratic formula, because it looks a bit awkward to factorise. And obviously we're going to show our answers. We're not just going to use the calculator solver on your calculator and lose out on method marks. So the b is minus 35. The a is 17. And the c is the minus 48. So putting that in our calculator then, we find that x is either 3 or minus 16 over 17. Now let's just check which of those is sensible in this question. Well, it can't be the negative one. If x was negative, then this side here would be negative, which doesn't make any sense. So we're going to ignore that the minus 16 over 17. That's not our answer, and x is 3. Which means that we now know that this 7x is going to be 21 centimetres. This x plus 2 is going to be 5 centimetres. And this 3x plus 10 is going to be 19 centimetres. Just substituting 3 instead of x in each of those. We can now work out angle theta for the last part of the question because we know all the sides in this triangle now. So we can use the cosine rule for angles, which, remember, we can find by rearranging the usual cosine rule. So I'm going to add the 2bc cos a to both sides. I'm going to subtract the a squared from both sides. And I'm going to divide both sides by 2bc, so that we have cos A as the subject. Remember, the important thing about this is that the side A is the one that's opposite the angle that we're trying to work out. So in this case, we're trying to work out theta. The side opposite that is the 5. The b and the c don't really matter. So my b is going to be the 21. My c is going to be the 19, but the a has to be the 5. Putting that into my calculator. So 21 squared plus 19 squared minus 5 squared divided by 2 times 21 times 19. We get 37 over 38. We'll do cos inverse to that. So shift cos answer, and we get 13.2 degrees to 1 decimal place. And that's my answer to part B.